Welcome to the Zoo. Brought to you by Chick-fil-A Erie Zoo. Are you ready to see your favorite animals?
Hi everybody, my name is Jen. I'm one of the big cat keepers here at the Erie Zoo, and this is Rowdy. Rowdy is our male Amur Leopard. He is 12 years old. Amur Leopards are native to the Russia, Indochina area naturally, and he's not the only leopard that we have here. We also have a female leopard. Her name is Mia, but they don't share the exhibit at the same time because cats are solitary animals. So they take turns going outside, so today's Rowdy's day to be outside. There are 9 different subspecies of leopards, and these are Amur leopards. You can tell they're Amur leopards if you look very closely at their fur. You can see with Rowdy's fur that he's a little bit lighter in his coat color, and his rosettes, or his spots as people like to call them, are spaced way farther apart than some of his other leopard subspecies cousins. A lot of them are a lot darker in fur and closer together. They come from a very cold climate area, so they're used to being outside in colder weather, so the lighter color helps them blend in. You may also notice that he has a very, very big, long, shaggy tail, and that tail helps to keep him warm. In these colder temperatures, they actually take their tail and wrap it around their entire body and up around their face so that they can keep themselves warm in cold temperatures. Their hair will grow up to 3 inches long in the wintertime and be as short as about 3/4 of an inch in the summertime. So of course, as you can see, it's a very nice sunny day here in Erie. So he does have the shorter hair, but in the wintertime when you get a chance to see him, you'll see they get a lot fluffier looking. Male Amur leopards can be anywhere from 80 to 140 pounds. They're about 2 to 2.5 feet tall at the shoulder, and they can be roughly anywhere from 4 to 6 feet long if you include the tail. The females are quite a bit smaller. They'll usually range anywhere from 50 to 80 pounds in size. The females are usually mature enough to have babies between 3 and 4 years old, and the gestation for an Amur leopard is roughly about 98 to 100 days. So usually about 3 months or so, 3 to 4 months, and then they have 1 to 4 in a litter when they have a litter. Here at the Erie Zoo, we've been very fortunate that we've had 9 Amur leopard cubs over the years by 2 different moms here at the zoo. Our pair is not a mated pair right now. However, they do have a breeding recommendation from the Amur Leopard SSP, which stands for Species Survival Plan, which helps these endangered cats to reproduce in captivity, which will help their wild counterparts. The Amur leopard is one of the most critically endangered cats on the planet. Back in the 1970s, there were only about 30 of these animals left in the wild. Luckily for us, the numbers are actually coming up. So right now, there's somewhere between 90 to 100 out in the wild, and a lot of that is due to conservation efforts by zoos around the world. These animals are disappearing thanks to habitat loss, poaching, and deforestation in their areas. A lot of it is they're building roads for human beings in their areas, and these cats do not like open spaces. They like to live in very dense forests. So they're taking away the trees and they're taking away their habitat. They also lose their prey animals, so they have nothing to eat. One of the interesting things about leopards and their prey is in order to protect their prey once they've made a kill, they tend to take it up into trees. So you can see they have some pretty high areas that they can stay in their exhibit. Not that they have to take prey into the exhibit here, but that's how they do it to keep their food safe. It keeps it safe from other animals that live in their area, especially the tigers. Enrichment for the large carnivores can be tricky sometimes because these animals can be pretty destructive. So finding toys and different things for them to be able to play with that they can mimic their natural behaviors can be a little bit tricky because they have to be pretty sturdy. We are lucky that we have some pretty sturdy boomer balls and things like that, but some of that stuff can get really expensive too. So sometimes toys are few and far between, so we have to get creative. When we get creative, we use things like boxes and different smells because these animals are very scent driven. That's how they help find prey and things like that, is by their smell. So since they have such a keen sense of smell, we use a lot of scent driven things. We'll use old perfumes, different colognes, different spices, and the smellier the better, believe it or not. We also use things from other animals. We'll use sometimes bedding that's left over from other animals if it's hasn't been soiled, but it does have their smell in it. We use hay, and we also use wool. When we shear our alpacas every year, we take the wool and we use that as enrichment for the big cats. So everything gets repurposed when we can around here. Behavioral training is an important part of every keeper's job, but it's especially important for the large carnivores because these are animals that we can't get our hands on if something goes wrong. If they get sick and we're not quite sure what's going on, we can't just walk in and have the veterinarian put our hands on them or have them, look in their mouths or anything like that. So we have to work very hard to get them to trust us so that we can get them to do different things. So we can get them to open their mouths on command. We get them to stand up so that we can see their claws. Older cats tend to get lazy. And if you have cats at home, cats like to sharpen their claws. I know a lot of people don't have claws on their cats at home, but all these ones here at the zoo have their claws. And they sharpen their claws, and that's what keeps them wore down. If they don't sharpen them enough and they don't use that behavior, as they get older, they tend to get lazy, and then the claws tend to ingrow, and they'll grow into their pads. So we train the cats to stand up so we can see the pads of their feet, so we can see if there's any problem. We also train them to take voluntary injections, and that's very important. In order to be able to go in with these animals, if there is something major wrong, we do have to sedate them. So if we can get them to take the injection voluntarily, they basically just sit down, we inject them, they go to sleep, and then we do our procedures and they wake back up.
Thank you for joining us in Chick-fil-A Erie for another What's Moo at the Zoo. We hope you learned something new and exciting today. If you're interested in supporting your Erie Zoo, please visit www.eriezoo.org to learn how.